So here I am waiting in the queue, Silverstone. I feel like a bit of a fraud, really. I tried to book this track day, and it sold out in about 20 minutes. So I missed out on that. I just rocked up with the car. I wanted the guys to give it a once over just to make sure that there was nothing glaringly obvious. And I just cheekily asked whether there was any space left or whether they had any dropouts. It turns out they did. So here I am. Brought along my lead, always do. And well, I'm on road tires. Ain't got anything else here. Might go home at lunchtime and see whether I can swap him around or not. But anyway, as it is, it'll just be a shakedown for me. Oh God, it's fucking terrifying, to be honest. I feel like a charlatan, a complete fraud in all this. I'm probably one of the few guys on this test day that doesn't actually have a race license. I got a race car but not a license. Still got to do my arts test, of course. So, well, I'll treat it like with kid gloves. Hopefully not make a fucking dick of myself. But anyway, it's not a race. It's a track day. So, well, let's see what happens. So here we are, out early in the day. Still running the wet tires on a dry day because that's all I rocked up with. So, missed the apex completely because there are two cars up my arse. And just probably not getting on the power, not carrying the speed. Up to the next corner, still lots of cars around, quite intimidating. And I'm just not keeping in the power long enough. Should be into the apex there and then hard on the brakes. And just too slow, not carrying the cornering speed. These are slower cars ahead of me. And I just don't have the speed. And then it's lost all the way down the straight. Because I don't really know where the braking points are. I'm braking far too early. Well, I get the apex, 2 humps on the left. It's not too bad, but I should be on the gas right now. Taking me out to the other side of the track and then onto the brakes again. This is probably the most important corner of the circuit. Extra few miles an hour here. You can carry it all the way up the straight. So I'm too timid getting back onto the power. I should just be realising that I can get flat on it much earlier than that. And a 120 is a bit disappointing. So I went home for lunch, changed the tyres to the Nankang AR1 semi-slicks. It's a different camera on the dash, so I'm just trying that out as well. It's a bit skew whiff, sorry for that. And there we go, carrying a little bit more, getting the apex and not being afraid to stay in it. I think I even got faster still later on in the day when I was able to just keep it in 4th. So staying right on the power as long as I could there, hard on the brakes and almost getting the apex, not quite there yet, and not carrying enough speed through that corner so I could use more of the track. These are 116s, I believe. They just don't have the same sort of power as the 330. So, and then later on the brakes here, much more aggressive, and you'll see this time as soon as I hit the apex, I'm hard on the gas just for a little bit because it's dead time, and then onto the brakes and round to the right. Bit better with the apex this time, and then harder on the gas. Getting a bit more confident with the car now, realising you can just get the power down with these relatively sticky tyres. So all in all, 6-second improvement on the day. Of course, no official timing. I've just done it off the camera. Thoroughly enjoyable day. What did I learn from it? Screw your petrol cap on a bit tighter. don't be afraid to grab it by the scruff of the neck and give it a good going, simply because the tyres are wonderful. It was a nice coolish day, certainly cool on track. I probably could have abused them more than I did, but it's all getting to know the car. It feels wonderfully neutral. Get a little bit of power on oversteer, and it feels pretty flat once it starts sliding, so it doesn't have a tendency to either understeer or oversteer, perhaps just a little bit. Thanks to all the guys for the suggestions. Without actually talking to guys that race on this track with similar cars, it's really difficult to figure out where you're going wrong, where you should be, what lines you should be taking. Tried to follow some of them around the track, but it's really difficult. There's all sorts of classes here, and apparently it's a bit more like what it is at qualifying. Everybody's trying to get the fastest time on the track as possible. So that's Silverstone for me now. I'm still about 5 seconds off the pace. Hopefully that'll come in time and confidence and finesse. But it's not a bad start. A bit of a shakedown for the car as well. I lost one of the brake clips that hold the rear brake pads in, but was able to get a replacement that I had at home at lunchtime. And thanks to the 750 Motor Club for making a little bit of wiggle room and a space for me, because without their cooperation it just wouldn't have happened. But a brilliant day all round. So nice to meet a few of the other drivers as well, and everybody was really supportive and friendly, so great introduction to 750 Club, and a cracking time was had all around. Another track day on Friday, again at Silverstone at the other end, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.